Regenerative farming, I believe, is one of the most effective ways for us to fix our soil and preserve the environment for the years to come. A lot of the conventional farms in our country over the last 30 to 50 years have been doing anything but regenerative farming, which has made it terrible for the environment and costly. That's why I believe a lot of people are scared to get into the business of farming or gardening or owning a nursery because they believe it's going to be expensive and they're going to have to buy all of these different types of inputs like manure, like compost to make their businesses work. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how I am already doing some regenerative farming at my brand new farm. As a first generation farmer who just started farming this past July, I really don't have any idea what I'm doing, but I'm a quick learner and I think our regenerative farming loop that we have set up here is something that might interest you guys if you have never seen a regenerative farming loop occur with rabbits. A lot of you guys have also commented on my videos to check out Joel Salatin. So I went to his YouTube last week and deep dove his different videos of how he does regenerative farming at his farm in Virginia. It's very impressive. The guy knows a lot and I have a lot to learn from him. So after watching his regenerative farming videos, it inspired me to make one about mine and just learn more about this process, because I do believe it's just common sense at the end of the day, using what is available to you to nourish the animals or the plants already at your property doesn't have to be a costly thing. You are looking at the start of my regenerative farming loop for today. So I went ahead and harvested some dried out bean vines that I had hanging out of some of my potters and different gardening that I did attempt this summer. It looks like this. The bunnies absolutely love it. So what I will be doing today is breaking this down and feeding this to all of my rabbits, who are gonna love this little bunny snack. They're gonna eat it. It's gonna go through their little bunny bodies and come out of them in the form of moon pebbles, I call them. We have set up their cages to have hardware cloth on the bottom of it for a few reasons. One, rabbits are actually very clean animals. They do not like to sit in their own filth. So on the bottom levels of their cages, we have this hardware cloth so their bunny poop can fall through it into our little collection bowls down below. Most of them relieve themselves in one specific corner in their cage and never change where they do that. So it makes it really easy for us to put the bowls under their cages. And I will show you that in a moment. These guys love to eat all of the parts of the plants that humans don't like to eat. So take a carrot, for example. We want the bottom part of the carrot. They want the top. With beans, they don't actually want the bean pod itself. We want the bean pod itself. They want all of this, which is throwaway in the eyes of modern agriculture. But to them, this is the most delicious snack, lunch, dinner they could ever eat. And by feeding them the plants that I grew here with no pesticides, no chemicals, anything like that, I am enriching their health as rabbits, and I'm guaranteeing that their moon pebbles are full of diverse, different nutrients and plants that they were fed. Real quick, we have been keeping rabbits for over 2 years now. We did rescue them from the woods in Southwest Florida. People would buy them for Easter and then let them out in the woods to fend for themselves. Alligators, eagles, birds were picking them off. It was not a pretty sight and not something that I want to see. The opposite of a Beatrix Potter children's novel, believe me. So we went ahead and saved them, rescued them, brought them into their cages. We play with them every day, hold them, let them run around. If you open up the doors to their cages, they do not even want to leave their cages because they are so traumatized by what nature has done to them. It's not fun being a rabbit out in nature, and these guys are smart enough to know that. They're very sentient beings. They're very emotional. They have very distinct personalities, things that they like and things that they don't like. So if you are thinking about adding rabbits to your homestead, I just want to throw that in there. Lastly, we are not processing them for meat. They are part of the family and they are an integral part of my regenerative farming loop by providing me with the fertilizer that I am going to use to grow all of the crops and flowers that I'm going to sell, eat for a profit, and then also all of the plants that I'm going to grow, native plants, milkweed, that type of thing, to make this a pollinator oasis. I don't plan to profit off of the native plants that I'm going to be selling, but their fertilizer is going to make all of that possible and save me really thousands of dollars come this spring when I am using something that they freely provided for me in House of Bunny, which I will show you now. You will have to excuse the straw mess right now. It's been cold here, so I just wanted to make sure that they had extra bedding upstairs. You can't really see Hera, you can see her eyeball right there. She's in her nest. This is a time of day they like to sleep. They definitely sleep from about 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. They're daytime nappers. If you come down here, here's her food bowl. She's got a few blankies in here. She tosses them around, so I will be making them neater. But if you come over here, That is her designated pooping corner, which means down below we have a bucket that has collected her moon pebbles for, gosh, only 4 days. She's made all of this. Just one rabbit made all of that in 4 days, which is crazy, but they're definitely grazers. They definitely like to munch and nibble. Hi, Bub. I'm going to let you go back to sleep now. Here, I can show you guys Mooney. Here's Aquarius. I have that on her upstairs apartment as well, just to make it a little more nesty for her because it has been cold. Here's Mooney sitting next to his heater. We are awaiting a bunny cubby that is being built for them to be able to bring them inside soon. The Amish are working on that for me. But that's Mooney's poopy corner in the back. There's his bowl that collects it. And after they do that, I will grab the bowl or the bucket and bring it over to the hose, which is right there. And for the fertilizer that I sell, I will hose it off and dry it inside on a drying rack. And for the fertilizer that I don't sell, I will show you now. This is out behind the bunny shed. Ignore the rainwater collection barrel. This is the start of the manure pile. I will get something more official for it eventually, but it's a mixture of their manure, wood shavings, straw, hay, and also the chicken manure goes into this as well. So I will keep this kind of stirred up, and this is going to be the base level of every single gardening bed that I do this spring, as well as the plants that are not grown in gardening beds. I will be using this fertilizer for as well. Coming over here, I started a bed with garlic in it actually a few weeks ago, and I have a layer of straw on top of it for the winter. If I was to move the straw, you can see there is a healthy amount of bunny fertilizer in this bed. And I noticed with my gardening this year, the fertilizer did two things. It's going to make sure these plants are robust, healthy, grow fast, full of nutrients. But I also noticed I did not have a single issue with deer or any type of animals trying to eat my sunflowers, my zinnias, my pumpkins, nothing this year. I didn't need fencing. I didn't need to pay for all of the different materials that go into fencing to try and keep pests away. I didn't have any pest problems because it turns out using the rabbit poop and pee from 9 different rabbits, some of their fur, some of their straw, and having that all mixed in the soil that you're gardening or farming in will keep pests away. They might feel like it's a colony, there's nests there, there's an angry mom who's going to attack them. Not a single animal attempted to touch my plants. So that saved me a lot of money, not needing fencing. And I didn't know that that was going to be another amazing byproduct of using this rabbit fertilizer. I love the look of this bed. I have 4 of them. There's the second one, and then I'm not going to put the other 2 out until spring because it's freezing here right now. There will be no gardening going on until April outside anyway. I also sprinkle some of their moon pebbles at the base of the start of my orchard. I call it an orchard. It's 4 apple trees, 4 pear trees. But I sprinkle a fresh layer of it at the base of it every couple weeks just to continue the nutrients that are going to the trees. And again, this is completely free for me to do it. I have a never-ending supply of moon pebbles. So then one of my favorite parts of this whole regenerative system loop is that this byproduct that has completely changed how farming and gardening works for me can also be sold. And I've seen people try and sell this for $25 on Etsy. I am starting out at just $3 because I'm brand new to this and I'll just be happy to get a sale. Sometimes they get condensation. I just open the bag at night and that goes away. They have been dried. And then I put on the label, I just hand write it, which rabbits produced the moon pebbles. I really believe I could get a steady business going with this type of product because I swear it is farming and gardening gold. So in essence, I grow plants with seeds that I either get from other farmers for free from gardening stores because they're expired, or I save them myself from cooking with them like peppers and squash. Grow plants, feed the part of the plants that I have no desire to eat or sell to the rabbits, feeds the rabbits make organic compost fertilizer. I use that fertilizer to grow more plants, keep pests away from my plants so I don't need to invest in crazy security systems or fencing. And I also use some of that fertilizer to turn an actual profit at my farm stand. And you have yourself a regenerative loop that has $0 input into the system, creates money for me, is amazing for the environment, and helps me expand my farm. I totally believe this is the future of agriculture. I'm on board with everything Joel Salatin says. Everything about regenerative farming, I think, should be pursued by people. I think we're going to start seeing more loops like this that haven't been discussed. There's some of the obvious loops with keeping cows and keeping chickens, but I just want to bring up that rabbits work too, and I'm sure a million other types of animals that haven't even been discussed yet. If you're thinking about getting started farming, like I'm doing right now, as a first-generation farmer with not a lot of experience, a lot of this stuff is common sense, to tell you the truth. A lot of it is just paying attention to nature, to cycles, to systems, to what animals need and want from you. It's really not rocket science. And as I always recommend to people like I'm doing, I would start small with everything. I would not buy 100 acres and try and become a professional farmer overnight. I am toiling away on just about 1 to 2 acres, and I'm happy doing that. And that is all I need and all anybody really needs to do all of the things that I'm doing here. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. I have so much more content coming your way, and I always sign off with $24 trillion worth of farmland is about to be for sale in this country. So if this has ever been your dream, from hobby farming to farming full-time to living on a farm to driving to a farm, now is the time to get in on it. It is my goal to be a go-to resource for you guys on that stuff. So with that, bye.